The New York Times, to serve his country, President Biden should leave the race, from the editorial board of the New York Times. Ladies and gentlemen, if I were to pull up every single corporate press, journalist, columnist, or otherwise, we would not be able to get through all of their opinions on the debate in one show. So we're going to go with the New York Times because this one dropped at 6 p.m. and it sent shockwaves. Look, everybody knew. Anybody paying attention knew this was going to happen. But you know what's really fascinating about this? And I'll read a little bit just in a second. Is that we all knew, you knew, I knew, Alex knew, Morgan knew, Adam knew, Hannah Claire knew, Serge knew. And everybody paying attention knew that Joe Biden's brain is broken. And in the lead up to this debate, what were they saying? Behind closed doors, he's sharp as a tack. And there were people out there who live in Wally World and MSNBC World who genuinely believed that they were cheap fakes. They kept trying to say, Joe Biden's fully with it. These are cheap fakes manipulated to make you think he's not with it. And then we watched the debate. The New York Times says, President Biden has repeatedly and rightfully described the stakes in this November's presidential election as nothing less than the future of American democracy. Donald Trump has proved himself to be a significant jeopardy to that democracy, an erratic and self-interested figure unworthy of the public trust. He systematically attempted to undermine the integrity of elections, blah, blah, blah. At Thursday's debate, the president needed to convince the American public that he was equal to the formidable demands of the office he is seeking to hold for another term. Voters, however, cannot be expected to ignore what was instead plain to see. Mr. Biden is not the man he was 4 years ago. I'm going to edit this and write, it was plain to see his brain don't work. That's what we saw. His brain don't work. Everybody realized it. And it's unfortunate if everybody was watching the likes of, Timcast, Tyrell Crowder, people like Styx, Viva Fry, etc. We would all have known years ago Biden ain't with it. But now we're here.
Well, I think part of it is a testament to the fact that Democrats really believe their own propaganda. I mean, they really believe the things that their own establishment puts out, including, no, Joe Biden is totally together and this is just a right-wing conspiracy, that things are not the same. The fact that there is so much shock. It's not just a couple people who are like, yeah, okay, it looks bad. It's everyone is like, wow, as it turns out, he really isn't able to speak properly and able to hold down this debate. I mean, he had this other speech today where he acknowledged, I'm not the young man I was, whatever else. And I heard some commentators be like, well, he looked more energetic today at his own rally. But so much of being the president is being able to command the moment that you're in. And he obviously failed. But it's only Democrats that are surprised because they're the only ones who actually believed there was a chance that this was a conspiracy theory. Or
I fixed it real quick. So I fixed it. So it now reads, they could not ignore what was plain to see. Mr. Biden has no brain anymore, and he should be in hospice.
Well, look at that. The New York Times is now credible.
So, but I do have to clarify because people won't understand on the internet. Nothing is real. I literally just changed that right now as a joke. Please, it's not real.
I just want to think it's real. They're smoking.
They will, though. Yeah, they will, though.
They will think it's real. I just, what's sad to me is like the cognitive decline of Biden has been so evident over the last 4 years, and the amount of people that are surrounded by him. You have obviously Jill Biden, who is the puppet master, it seems like, of all of this. But look at how many people are just around him, working for him, and they refuse to acknowledge to the American people. Like, they are willingly lying to the American people that our sitting president is incapable of even having a debate. And I don't even think they realized how bad it was going to be last night until he opened his mouth and couldn't even get a coherent sentence out. And like, Tim, you were saying, the only positive person I can see is Harry Sisson, who is just shilling for the DNC. I genuinely hope he's a millionaire.
Dude, the betting odds for Biden have tanked like 40%. He's in the teens now. And Harry Sisson is like, wow, he crushed it. And it's like, dude, the whole world is betting against you. Nobody believes that.
He's like, I love an underdog. Joe Biden forever.
Also, Alex, I fixed the article again.
Alex Stein, Primetime 99, loves big booty Latinas. Fact check, true. Let me tell you this, though. It makes me a little, and I don't want to use the word jealous, but I'm a little jealous because this is Donald Trump's biggest problem, is that he doesn't have enough support within his own party, and yet the liberals will just blindly follow a retarded guy, to D.C. I mean, they would literally vote for Joe Biden knowing that he's not.
I saw a posting where this girl was like, Joe Biden forever, I would vote for him if he was in a coma.
Yeah.
But this is not fair. I really, and I mean this in all sincerity, people suffering from legitimate mental retardation are not the same as Joe Biden, who is demented. And I mean demented in the literal sense.
I apologize to all the retarded people out there.
I respect that outside. I thank you for that.
Well, no, but at least they will blindly follow him. If they did that for Trump, we probably wouldn't have had all those sham investigations. Trump's presidency would have been much better. I mean, just even what's happened after his presidency with January 6th, like if our party actually respected him as a president, like they pretend to respect Joe Biden, I think our country would be better. But we have a bunch of idiots that are, have the keys to the castle, and that's why I think our country is sucking so much right now.
The reality is the current regime is willing to do anything to destroy America, and all of their pawns will follow anything they do in the name of social justice and, changing the country for the better while simultaneously just hurting themselves.
Well, the left does a very good job hiding the news that they don't want to get out for their viewers to see, right? They don't see the gaps that we see. We ingest news at a much higher rate than most people do.
Yeah.
The debates, you can't hide it. A lot of people who aren't heavily involved in politics, they wait for the debates to see what's going on. Last night was probably the first time that the left saw Biden in all of his glory.
You know how I know that that's true? We had this was our biggest live audience ever. It was over 200,000 concurrents. And there were a couple of comments where they were like, Tim looks thin. And I'm like, if the last time they watched the show was when I was like 10 or 20 pounds heavier, it's been a long time for him. It's been a long time.
I remember for a while you were like, we have to re-record the outros because I don't look like that anymore.
Well, it happens a lot.
I mean, it is interesting.
I lost a lot of weight doing keto, and then I stopped keto and it started coming back, and I'm like, these outros, they're getting bad. I think we have to redo it again.
No, but it's interesting because I think you're right. I mean, if people haven't checked in on any politics since the last election cycle, basically when Biden was trying to get elected, they don't really know what's going on. And part of that is I have enormous sympathy for Americans who are struggling every day, who are just trying to pay their bills, get to their job, be present in their family lives. They don't necessarily have the opportunity to follow politics as closely as we do because, we do it professionally. Yep. But I think that there's a lot of willful ignorance, people who are saying, no matter what you say, I will not accept any kind of reality unless Karine Jean-Pierre has said it was okay for me to accept. And I think that is actually a form of self-delusion that we really can't tolerate as a culture.
I think it's all the low prop voters that are affecting our country. Is they just don't know what's going on. They're so ill-informed that it's going to take, honestly, like the grassroots, what, Scott Pressler's doing. Like he's killing it with the voter registration game, and we have to get the low props.
Yeah, because the spin right now from the Biden administration is, but Joe Biden basically said, like, I might be old, I'm not the man I was, but at least I don't lie. But we know that he lied.
He was lying.
Yeah, he said he had a 6 handicap.
He said no American soldiers died on his watch, and that's completely wrong.
But
no, he was checking his watch when the American soldiers were dead.
That is true. Yeah. The golf, I mean this seriously, the golf thing may have actually won Trump more voters than anything else that was said. Two things. When he said you beat Medicare to death, that was actually a really bad moment for Biden because Biden started going, we beat Medicare. And then they cut him off. The moderators jumped in because Biden was spiraling. And then Trump goes, yeah, you beat Medicare. You beat it to death. That was a zinger. But regular people don't know or care. That's why they like WWE, right? I'm not saying this disrespectfully. Like, people got their lives. They're not focused on politics. They turn this on, and they see Trump nearly fall off the stage. 6 handicap. And they started busting out laughing. Well, you like the guy.
And he's like, I've seen your swing. That can't be true. Like, it's funny. It's also like, I'm paying attention. Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports had this tweet that he was like, that's it. Let's settle this on the golf course. And I think a lot of people actually find that funny and relatable.
Portnoy had the best tweet. He was like, everything Biden says has not fazed Trump at all until he mentioned his 6 handicap, and Trump nearly fell off the stage. Like, how dare you?
Well, I think it also got the culture commentators to start talking about politics in a way that they hadn't before, because then it's all of a sudden, let's talk about golf and getting new voters.
Yeah,
there is no way Biden has a 6 handicap. That's insane.
Not possible.
He shoots a 200 handicap.
Do you remember when the criticism of Trump was like, he golfs too much, he golfs all the time? Like,
he's not working enough.
I think in this case, I trust his opinion that Joe Biden does not have whatever claim to fame in golf he thinks he has.
Well, if his handicaps for, dementia, Parkinson's disease, sure, you might have a 6 handicap.
Yeah, 6 of them.
Yeah,
6
total.
Wow, really
that's what he thought. He's like, I got a 6 handicap. My doctor told me.
Yeah, but it is kind of sad that like everybody's testicles are filled with microplastics. Nobody can afford a middle-class home. I mean, literally, people can barely afford to fill up their gas tank. And the thing that resonates the most of that whole debate is a lie about playing golf. It kind of shows you it's like how easily we are distracted from what's really going on.
Yes and no. Yes and no. You know, we were talking about this the day before when our guest was saying if Trump really wants to reach the American people, he's got to talk about Israel. I'm not kidding. That's what he said. And I was like, yeah, no way. It doesn't even register in the top 50 issues for people. If you want to reach regular people, you have to be funny and likable.
Yeah.
Issues actually, people don't remember what you said to them. They remember how you made them feel. And when Trump scoffed and said 6 handicap, that's the biggest lie of the night, people laugh. It's funny, and then they're like, that guy's funny. And how does Trump make you feel? He made me laugh.
And Joe Biden made me feel like he was a catty middle school girl. I mean, he was like, you had sex with a porn star, and he's just like trying to attack Trump personally. Like, I could be totally wrong. I have any fact checked on this, but I think Biden was the first one to make it personal, to start throwing personal digs, whereas Trump was able to just be like, the record, the economy, immigration. I mean, it's not that he never said anything about Hunter, but it definitely felt like it started with Joe Biden, which to me argues that he is in a weak position. He's in a very emotional position. Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, and we'll see you all there.